Hello and welcome to the first ever lore episode of Wargaming Warlords. So for today's episode, we are covering one of the most well-known periods in the 41st millennium, or 31st in this case, the Horus Heresy. So mankind had a golden tech age where the Eldar created Slanesh, who's god of excess pleasure, pain, extremes, hedonism, desire, beauty, perfection, excellence, and love. Look, I don't remember all of them very often. I was lucky to remember that. You don't need to know what he's got out of. You just need to remember Eldar created Slanesh. And Eldar anyways. That's all you need to know. Warp storms cut off different worlds from each other due to mankind expanding outwards into the stars. And the Emperor of Mankind creates the Thunder Warriors, which are basically prototype Space Marines. I think you know what Space Marines are by this point, hopefully. To conquer and unite Earth, he creates the Primarchs, who lead. Space Marines are divided into legions, or Iron Warriors in this case, same thing. And each one's led by a Primarch, whose the DNA gets passed down into each Space Marine, because the Primarchs they're genetically enhanced themselves, and it helps develop Space Marines, basically, is the simplest way I can put it. He launches the Great Crusade to reunite the human planets and the Primarchs who got lost in the warp storms. He finds 18 Primarchs, and the Great Crusade carries onwards to find a planet called Ulanor, which is where, if I'm right, there's one Primarch got stuck on it that they haven't found yet. They beat an orc warg on Ulanor, which is basically where the boys get to fighting. And at the victory parade, the Emperor announces his return to Earth to work on projects. Horus, who is one of his favoured sons, is made the War Master, which basically means he's head of the Great Crusade. On one world's moon, Horus is gravely injured by a weapon created by the Chaos Gods. I don't know who wielded by, so don't ask. And he's taken to a planet called Pavin, where priests basically they heal him, they fix him up, they just make him like, bleh. And he's placed into a coma where basically he has a vision basically where the Chaos Gods, where he turns to chaos due to a disillusion with the Emperor, where, if I'm right, he gets forgotten about, and he starts to gain other Primarchs' loyalty. And out of the 18 that I initially mentioned earlier on, 9, so exactly half of them, decide to basically turn traitor against the Emperor. He sets a trap on Istvan 3, which is another planet, for the loyalist parts of legions that joined the Emperor's cause. And he sets another one, but not before word of his heresy escapes. And 5 of the loyalist legions are sent to capture him out of the 9 that remained loyal to the Emperor. But 2 of the 5 have already joined him, and on Istvan 5, which is another planet, a trap is set for the 3 loyalist legions, virtually destroying them and 1 Primarch. So, after this all occurs, millions of planets decide to turn traitor, joining Horus's cause, and the ensuing war ends with the traitors returning to Earth, which it's called, obviously we know it as Earth, but just for reference, if anyone ever says the planet Terra, Terra is Earth. It's the same thing. Don't worry about it. Siege of Earth, however, that is led by Horus, needs to be ended quickly because there's loyalist reinforcements are incoming, and they know that they can't defeat the loyalists. So Horus lowers his flagship shields so that the Emperor and one of the Primarchs called Rogel Dawn go onto it. Horus is killed. The Emperor gets mortally wounded, however, and another Primarch, who's called Sanguinius, who's head of a legion called the Blood Angels, is slain. The traitor legions end up having to retreat into the Eye of Terror, and Rogel Dawn ends up building a thing called the Golden Throne from the Dark Age of Technology, as it's called, which basically what it does is it's a life support, pretty much. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I'll continue doing more in the future. There won't be every month like the bat reps. There will be inconsistent upload schedule for them. So that's even more reason to subscribe, so you know when there's a new one coming out if you enjoyed this one.